just forget it.
I'm still here. I was just saying. I was going to say, listen. No, I was going to say.
And I went.
No.
I'm going. I failed.
All right.
Come after me.
I had a good idea about how we could do
It's
tandem.
I'm not.
But you didn't let me get to it.
All right.
All right.
Sometimes you got to make a decision in post when to end something.
Figure out when to end that one. Okay.
I just made myself almost have to sneeze by doing that. Can you make yourself sneeze by... You hear that?
Not the same way that you hear
It's like a phone.
When you make a noise,
it sounds like a phone.
It sounds different to you than it does
sounds
to me,
like
especially when you go.
It's like put your phone, your ringer on vibrate, and then put it in your mouth, and then call me.
Okay. The thing I was thinking about was
that's what it's like.
These people have made this decision for different reasons. I got to be honest with you. The person I have the least issue with is Derek Nance eating the raw meat. This guy went through a process when he was legitimately trying to figure out something for his health. Now, I think he's crazy that he ended up deciding on raw meat. And you can take issue with that if you want to, whatever. But I feel that that's a different thing than somebody who's just like, I'm gonna eat French fries. I just eat French fries. I understand that these girls probably have there is something neurological going on, but it's just like, I'm very impatient with that kind of thing.
Don't do a voice for him though.
I'm very impatient with that kind of thing. And if like my kid started saying that they were gonna only eat French fries, I'd be like, I'd be like, how about this, buddy roll? How about you don't get any French fries for a week and we'll see what you eat next? I mean, seriously, there are ways to take care of this kind of thing. I feel like, and I'm not trying to be super insensitive. I realize that I am being insensitive, but sometimes people need a little insensitivity. You can't give in to somebody who's legitimately only wants to eat ramen noodles. You gotta be like, hold on.
Even if it is a legitimate neurological disorder?
I guarantee you they will eat something else if it comes down to it. But if you just keep getting, I mean, it said that...
Like back in the Middle Ages, did they have guys who would only eat I only eat the turkey leg. And that's it.
I don't even think they ate any turkey legs.
Yeah, they did.
I think that's it. Renaissance fair. I don't think that's like a real thing.
Really?
I don't know. I mean...
Well, then I'm never going back there.
But I think it's another...
In my time machine.
I think it's another thing that it's just... You couldn't have those kind of preferences back then because food was such a different thing. These people are actually suffering from an abundance of choices, and then they're zeroing in on one thing because everything else makes them nervous. And then they're just choosing French fries or ramen noodles or chicken nuggets.
I
gotta say, it frustrates me.
I appreciate the fact that Dan, the cheese pizza guy, just owns it and says, I just like pizza. Cheese pizza only. Like on his first date with his girlfriend, the one who now gets him to drink smoothies and kind of talked him into that. On their first date, he was like, where would you like to eat? And just left it open-ended, even though he will only eat cheese pizza. He didn't say anything. And she was like, pizza sounds good. And he was like, yes. But then they get there and he's like, what kind of pizza would you like? She's like, mushroom pizza, of course.
Weird.
And then he ate the mushroom pizza. He didn't say anything.
Yeah, right.
Because there was something more important than his cheese pizza
exactly.
preference.
He didn't go crazy over it.
Him seeming dateable.
Well, and he also says in the notes there.
No, he's not dateable. I think Dan knows that. He only eats cheese pizza. You can't go out.
But he went to Germany for a week, it says, and he ate pretzels for 2 weeks.
Right.
And he ate pretzels because the pizza was bad. So
right.
I'm saying you put somebody in this situation and you say, we're not going to get you ramen noodles this week. But we're going to make you go to like beef flavor.
But I'm saying,
something.
Yeah, when I say he's not dateable, what I mean is that it's very difficult to be a companion to somebody who's so picky about one. I mean, to that extreme, I enjoy going out for a good meal. I mean, that's, I live for that. You live for that?
Well,
I live for that.
You gotta get your priorities straight.
But, it's to go to a place that only had cheese pizza.
Well, this is an interesting dynamic. We actually talked about this recently. not on the show, but this
Privately?
privately. Let's talk about it publicly now. This whole idea, a lot of times when there's somebody who has a preference that you find annoying, you go to a restaurant with them or whatever, and they start ordering things and taking things off of this and adding things and taking things off. And there's one school of thought which is just like, to each his own, man. Why should you have a problem with someone's pickiness? Like, why does
it doesn't impact you?
It doesn't impact you at all. I understand the logic, but you also, you know how I am. I eat everything, and so everybody's pickier than me. But for you, as a kind of a picky person, not nearly as picky as you used to be.
Yeah.
Do you also have that dynamic? If you go out with somebody and they're like, I don't want to eat that, I don't want to eat that, I don't want to eat that, even though it doesn't impact you. Sometimes it does impact you if you're with them and you're trying to figure out where to eat. But even when it doesn't impact you, there's just something frustrating about seeing somebody limit themselves. That's just a frustrating thing. It's just like if you meet somebody and they're like, I've never left my house. And you don't even know them. The fact that it frustrates me to hear that there's somebody who's never left their house, I can't help it. I can't help but be frustrated with them and be like, dude, I would just like to take you and just drag you out of your house. I have this overwhelming desire to do that. Something wrong with me because of that?
Well, and like what, poke their eyes out?
No, just like say, here's your front yard.
Oh.
See how beautiful it is? Roll around on the grass.
I mean, if you want to poke them in the eyes, or
smell the world.
If you want to blind them or take away one of their senses,
hurt them. I don't want to hurt them.
That's not good.
I want to introduce them to the world.
You really want to help them.
But I'm saying, do you relate to that? As a person who's pickier than me, do you relate to that?
Yeah, I mean, for my kids, they eat a lot more than I ate when I was their age because I forced them to, because it's teaching them to, it's just like, it's teaching them to enjoy a certain aspect of life. And then, no pain, no gain. You've got to force the Brussels sprouts down to one day eventually like them. Same thing with cigarettes and alcohol abuse. Just kidding.
Wow.
Take it as you will.
Do you just think that we should let people do what they want to do and like what they want to like and just not be frustrated with it? Or do you think it's appropriate to be frustrated with people who are limiting themselves? That's the question.
I think there's a little something else going on that I can't quite pinpoint that increases your frustration level. It's not just a pure desire for people to experience life. It's also there's other things that work along with that I think aren't so positive. I don't know what those are, but maybe it's just a predisposition to judge people that we as humans have. Maybe you have that, right? You don't get frustrated because you want them to experience more life. Period. There's something else going on. You want them to. That's
why I'm asking you, because I know that you have the same observations sometimes about people, and I want you to.
I think it's
vocal. You're acting like you don't have this part of your brain.
It does.
You do.
No, it does. It does annoy me. I think it annoys me when somebody doesn't like something that I like, and it seems like, well, somebody's wrong here, and it's you. It's not me.
See, that's what I was afraid you thought it was. I don't think it's about that at all. Because somebody.
No, you asked me what I thought. I think that's something that makes me angry about it.
No. I actually enjoy when people disagree about something, but at least but not liking something and not experiencing something is not a disagreement. It's just a limitation. There's a distinct difference. I enjoy hanging out with people who have opposite opinions about major issues with me. I don't like hanging out with a bunch of people who agree about the same stuff. That's not what I'm talking about at all.
It's like the opposite of love is indifference.
I'm just saying there's something about people who've just limited their world that's frustrating to me. And I don't know psychologically what it is. I'm trying to figure out what it is about me. Not about them. And so I'm asking other people to say, do you experience the same frustration?
I do.
Stevie does.
It's like voluntary ignorance in a way. Like people who don't want to try things. Like other people are like, this is great food, and they're like, well, I just know I'm not gonna like it. I don't like other foods. You're not trying things.
And why is that frustrating to the person who is just a bystander? Like, even if it wasn't my friend, I was at a restaurant and I saw the interaction between two unattached people that I don't know.
I'm not saying it doesn't frustrate me.
What? But you haven't said a thing about it so far. So does that frustrate you?
Well, I did say a thing. I said I said my theory.
But what about it frustrates you?
I don't know. I guess it's the same thing you're saying. I mean, it's it seems just like like you're being small for no good reason. Why not expand a little bit?
Well, maybe we haven't solved any problems today. Maybe we just raised some questions.
But I'm not going to get as worked up as you are.
Oh, I get worked up about it, man. I think I should be a tour guide to people who are leaving their homes for the first time ever. If you know of a person who's never left their home or never left the county, call me and I'm going to take them around.